At coordinates 66 degrees south, 99 degrees east, the world's digital maps simply stop working. This is not a technical error, a server glitch, or a slow internet connection. It is a deliberate, high-definition erasure of a reality that stretches for over 30 miles across the Antarctic waste. If you attempt to zoom in, the pixels smear into a gray, featureless void. A digital veil draped over a jagged, geometric shape that defies every known geological law. Something is breathing beneath the 2-mile-thick ice sheet of Antarctica, and global powers have spent the last 70 years ensuring you never see its face. While the public remains focused on shifting climates and melting glaciers, a far more unsettling transformation is occurring in the most isolated reaches of the frozen continent. Recent high-resolution satellite imagery, leaked briefly before being scrubbed by international intelligence agencies, reveals massive, symmetrical structures protruding from the permafrost. These are not wind-carved ridges, volcanic vents, or natural rock formations. The imagery shows perfect right angles, massive spheres, and metallic surfaces that reflect light in a spectrum that should not exist in the natural world. These ruins suggest a civilization that did not just inhabit the ice, but thrived within it, long before the first chapters of human history were ever written. The Antarctic Treaty of 1959 is often presented to the public as a triumph of peaceful scientific cooperation, a noble pact to keep the continent demilitarized and dedicated to research. However, a closer look at the restricted zones reveals a different story entirely. Huge swaths of the interior are designated as specially protected areas, where even seasoned, high-clearance researchers are strictly barred from entry. These zones are not protecting penguin colonies or rare species of moss. They are centered around massive gravitational anomalies and heat signatures that indicate something is drawing immense power from the Earth's core. Pilots who have accidentally veered into these no-fly zones report their navigation systems spinning wildly, as if the very laws of physics are being warped by a subterranean force. The origins of this modern secrecy can be traced back to 1946, when Admiral Richard Byrd led Operation Highjump, the largest expedition ever sent to the southern pole. Officially, it was a training mission. In reality, it ended abruptly and under a heavy cloud of classification. Upon his return, Byrd gave a cryptic and chilling warning to the press, stating that the United States needed to prepare for the possibility of an encounter with craft that could fly from pole to pole with incredible speed. He spoke of a land beyond the pole that was not made of ice, but contained advanced technology and environments that shouldn't exist in the frozen desert. This was not the rambling of a tired man. It was a desperate report from a commander who had seen something that shattered his understanding of the world. Shortly after, the narrative was buried, and Byrd was effectively silenced by a wall of high-level classification. The mystery of what Byrd might have seen is compounded by the existence of the Piri Reis map, a 16th century document that accurately depicts the Antarctic coastline without its ice cover. Modern seismic technology has recently confirmed that the subglacial topography shown on the map is correct. Yet, that land has been buried under millions of tons of ice for at least 6,000 years. This leaves us with a chilling paradox. Someone mapped the continent when it was green and habitable. If human civilization did not possess the technology to do so back then who did? And more importantly, did they ever really leave? Or did they simply move deeper underground as the world began to freeze? In the Wilkes Land region, scientists have detected a massive gravitational anomaly buried deep beneath the ice. It is a dense, metallic mass nearly 300 miles wide, sitting at the bottom of a massive crater. While some suggest it is a prehistoric asteroid, its electromagnetic signature is pulsating. It is a rhythmic, low-frequency hum that can be detected by deep-sea sensors as far away as the Indian Ocean. This heartbeat of the ice suggests that whatever is buried there is not just a hunk of rock. It is a functioning system, an ancient engine, or a beacon that has been waiting for millennia to be reactivated. The mystery deepens when we look at the strange A-shaped entrance discovered near the Shackleton Range. Satellite photos captured a massive, triangular opening in the side of a mountain, leading into a dark, perfectly bored tunnel. Within weeks of the image going viral on amateur forums, the area was designated a high-security zone. Black Ops transport planes, unmarked and unlogged, have been tracked flying toward those coordinates with increasing frequency. Why would a barren mountain range require the presence of elite security forces and heavy drilling equipment? The official response is a wall of silence, but the local radio silence in the sector suggests a massive extraction operation is currently underway. There is a recurring phenomenon reported by those who work at the South Pole Station known as the hum. It is not a sound you hear with your ears, but a vibration you feel deep within your marrow. It oscillates at a frequency that causes intense nausea and vivid, shared cognitive anomalies among the crew. Many researchers have been evacuated for psychological distress, reporting visions of towering black monoliths and cityscapes made of glass and obsidian. The official diagnosis is polar sensory deprivation, but when multiple people from entirely different backgrounds describe the exact same architectural details of a subterranean city, the explanation falls apart. Consider the case of Lake Vostok, a subglacial lake that has been sealed off from the atmosphere for 15 million years. When research teams finally drilled into its depths, they found more than just prehistoric microbes. Water samples contained traces of synthetic alloys and isotopes that do not occur naturally on Earth. Shortly after these findings were logged, the research station was temporarily taken over by private security contractors, and the data was moved to a classified server. It seems the deeper we dig into the ice, the more we find evidence of a history that does not belong to us. The forbidden zones of Antarctica serve as a physical boundary between our world and a legacy we aren't prepared to face. The Antarctic Treaty isn't just a document for peace. It is a non-disclosure agreement for the entire planet. By keeping the continent off limits to private exploration, the world's governments maintain a monopoly on the most significant discovery in human history. They are hiding the fact that we may not be the first masters of this world, and that the ruins under the ice might actually be the remnants of our predecessors, or our current observers. If you look at the thermal maps of the continent, there are hot spots where the ice is melting from the bottom up, creating massive caverns the size of skyscrapers. These are not caused by volcanic activity, as the chemical signatures of the steam don't match any known geothermal vent. Instead, the air in these pockets appears to be purified and pressurized. It is as if the continent is being ventilated. Somewhere beneath the permafrost, a massive infrastructure is operating at a scale that dwarfs any human city. The power required to maintain such an environment under 2 miles of ice is beyond our current capabilities, suggesting a mastery of energy that remains hidden from the global economy. In recent years, high-ranking officials, including religious leaders and heads of state, have made hushed, unpublicized trips to the Antarctic interior. These are not photo opportunities for climate change awareness. They are pilgrimages. They are being shown something that confirms ancient records or perhaps provides a new mandate for power. The secrecy surrounding these visits is absolute, but the timing coincides with the sudden surge in archaeological satellite redactions. They are preparing for a reveal, but it is one that seems designed to protect the status quo rather than benefit the masses. The structures being uncovered are not just buildings, they appear to be machines. The geometric precision of the ruins suggests they were designed to interact with the Earth's magnetic field.
Toward the South Pole.
Some theorists suggest that Antarctica is a giant terminal, a planetary control center left behind by a civilization that understood the cosmos far better than we do today. If the ice continues to thin, these structures will be exposed to the sky for the first time in an epoch. The race to reach them is not about science. It is about who gets to hold the keys to the terminal first. Every year, the Forbidden Zone expands. New fences are built in the middle of nowhere. New sensors are placed in the snow. If Antarctica is truly just a dead wasteland of ice and rock, why is it guarded more heavily than the most sensitive military bases on the mainland? The answer lies in the shadows of the mountains, where the ice meets the metal. We are staring at the ruins of a world that existed before the stars were named. And as the ice melts, the silence of Antarctica is beginning to speak. We have been taught that Antarctica is a pristine wilderness, a blank spot on the map meant for nothing but study. But the blurred satellite images, the redacted flight paths, and the unexplained gravitational pulses tell a different story. It is a continent of secrets, a frozen tomb that is slowly being unearthed. The structures beneath the ice are a testament to a truth we are too afraid to acknowledge, that our history is much shorter and much more fragile than we ever imagined. The ancient ruins are there waiting in the cold, and soon the ice will no longer be enough to keep them hidden. What happens when the world can no longer deny the presence of a massive artificial complex at the bottom of the world? When the glitches on our maps become impossible to ignore, we will find ourselves facing a choice: to accept that we are the secondary inhabitants of this planet, or to continue living in the comfort of a manufactured ignorance. The Forbidden Zones are not there to protect the environment.
The glacier moves with
they
a
are there to
grinding
protect
sound,
the narrative of our
revealing
own
the metal
supremacy.
structure.
But the Earth is shifting, the ice is moving, and the giants of the past are beginning to cast long, dark shadows over our future. The massive artificial structures being documented by rogue researchers are not just relics. They are active anomalies. From the pyramids of the Ellsworth Mountains to the sprawling underground complexes of the Mierlich-Hoffmann Range, the evidence of an intentional, non-human design is overwhelming. These sites are linked by a network of tunnels that seem to defy the immense pressure of the ice above. Thermal imaging has shown these tunnels to be consistently warm, maintained at a temperature that would support biological life. The question isn't whether life exists down there, but what kind of life it is. The labels used to dismiss these findings often push them into the realm of science fiction. But what if these ruins are simply the remains of a terrestrial civilization that was far more advanced than our own? A civilization that saw the coming of the ice and chose to retreat inward rather than flee. If this is the case, the Forbidden Zone is not a wall to keep something out, but a cage to keep us from realizing that the rightful owners of the Earth may still be here, and they are waking up. As we look toward the southern horizon, we must realize that the most important discoveries of the 21st century may not be made in space, but in the white void of the Antarctic. The satellite images are just the beginning. The rhythmic hum, the gravitational pull, and the redacted coordinates are all signposts pointing toward a revelation that will redefine what it means to be human. The ice is melting, and the truth is coming to the surface, whether we are ready to face it or not. The shadows beneath the ice are growing longer. The silence of the desert is being replaced by the sound of machinery and the pulse of ancient power. We are on the verge of a discovery that will shatter our understanding of time, technology, and our place in the universe. Antarctica is not a wasteland. It is a treasury of a forgotten era, and the Forbidden Zones are the only thing standing between us and a reality that will change everything. The countdown has already begun, and the ice is the only thing left that can keep the secret. Once it is gone, the world will have to look directly into the eyes of its past.